It is Chastia, and it is September 30th, 2024. Sorry if I like paused a little bit. Something's going on. Something going on. Just today. Period. It is September 30th. It is Monday, and it's man, so much is happening right now with this moon. Just the energy of the moon, freaking period. Not even like what sign it's in. Just, like the entire energetic of how the moon functions, the physics of the moon, the way that the moon held gravity, the way it was holding currents, the way like in a lower sedated moon structure. Because we've been watching the sun, right? We've been watching the sun explode. We've been watching, and so what is being shown to me now, like more than ever, is all this is like just unfolding, how it's unfolding is we in 2022 when because we put the skeleton keys in the moon on the harvest moon at Hermosa Pier, which is like a 33 Mason, like we went in as a collective and went, I don't think so. Okay, try this setting. That's what we had to do. And that's what happened in 2022. Now, by the end of 2022, because we put the skeleton keys in the harvest moon. It was like the whole system ate up the ancients that were really the cosmos, and the cosmos ended up inside of of this crazy freaking like moon system, and we were like, how about we've already told you that everything is gonna blow up if you try to put us in here, okay, energetically, and then in order to have it be able to hold, we had to put the skeletal keys in the system so that the whole thing like expands. Like that's what this is back here. You know those, and I've got one upstairs. It's the atom, and you pull it out, and it's like it's all crunched in, and it looks like that, and then you pull it out. And this is the Scorpio. This is the Scorpio poster, by the way. The Scorpio home coCHEE stuff is so freaking cool and different. Like all the houses are so different, but this particular poster, and this is why I'm talking about the energy of today. But to explain the energy of today, let me explain it. I worked on this for hours last night. Hours. Let me tell you, it started out something completely different. I was seeing Starry Night. Picasso's Starry Night, and I even tried to like use these shapes and draw out Starry Night and make a tree, and I had these boxes and I was moving it for hours last night. I put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, and for whatever reason I knew I could not stop. I had to complete whatever this is, and these are all these different, this is how me and Michelle designed this stuff, but since we're so ultra conscious of it and we're a part of rebirthing it, as we're doing these houses, it was real important for us to do them in order. We did Virgo, then we did Libra, then we had to do Sagittarius. Then it's like that Libra Sagittarius structure, and then Scorpio is like what happens in the middle. Now we're having to get Capricorn done, and the rest is kind of like a crapshoot now. They can just be done whenever. But this right here has something to do even with moon settings. Because I wonder if I can. This is the picture of the poster because I built it. And if I look, these moon structures are also like on when you talk about the G core, you're talking about in all the different moon in all the cores of all the luminaries or whatever, and then that energy of how all of them connect, not this bubble or this bubble. Okay, so it's like the and this last alignment that we dealt with in August was all with the crescent moon tribes and how they were using the crescent moon sequences to like get in. Everything was about this little sliver back door. Everything had this little sliver of a back door because it was all wound up on one thing. If that makes any sense. This is also the whole thing, with the story of the Empire Strikes Back, and they came and took over all the elders, and then they made the elders build their Death Star ships and everything, but the elders set up that one little strand that when you pull it, it makes the whole thing go down, but there's only a few that were original architects of that strand that could even pull it, because when you do, everything changes. What's nuts is I just realized then, just about like an hour ago after today, that this is where the two moons started showing up. People are seeing the two moons. I didn't go outside and look, but I saw pictures of it. But I wasn't even, this started out being something so different that not until I finished it and then went back and went, oh my gosh, that's moon. This is the wave. This is the higher current. Then this is the wave that's attached into the core from this wave and this wave and this wave, and then this one makes this other high energy current here, and then that makes it attached to another wave, and then in the middle it all creates a vibration sequence that is gonna go right there. And then this is how this energy can take over this energy, as long as there's like an infrastructure set up over it, as long as whatever, there's something on this side that's ready to catch it. Okay, that's even why we had to do Sagittarius energies first. I don't have the full, well, there it is. This is also what was built yesterday, right before I did that moon sequence. And this is Sagittarius, this magenta, this magnetic field down here. All this the pink and the purple and the maroon is magneto magenta. Magenta magneto. The only difference between this and this is that the yellows are in it. But notice how many different colors of yellow. There's a few different colors of yellow that are in it. So that whenever you put the whole thing together, it looks like that. But without the yellow, it is magneto. And that energy is coming up from the bottom, and it's connecting to the yellow. This was all about the yellow human and the knowledge, but it's that little strand. It's that strand. You got to get to the yellow. You got to get to the yellow. The yellow will clear. It won't be it won't be this bright forever. Just hold on. I know it's super bright right now. I know this is also like even the migraines. You're getting a migraine because your etheric body is staring at source and your mouth is wide freaking open, and your body can't even process or fathom the energetic that you're feeling and that you're seeing in that dimension. It's if you get up there too fast, and what we found out like through this is that you freeze. And why? Because your body wasn't ready to take it on. It's not even your fault. This was even our whole point. This is why the more enlightened you become, the more compassion you have, because the more you understand how this is done to the whole human race. You couldn't your body was so dumbed down and didn't have a connection to where whenever you got up there, it's like your body couldn't even processes it. It just freezes you. And then what happens? You have mucus. I've had it for like 4 days now. You have mucus, and you're clearing, right, and you're connecting, and you're getting that energy stabilized, so that when I mean it's all a process. But this yellow energy coming in is all about the knowledge and the understanding. And then whenever you understand, as long as you just have some comprehension that you don't know everything, and that there is a universal knowledge that you're now tapping into. Just like people remote view, well, we tap into brainwaves. We don't even consciously do it, but it is how it works. We don't even consciously do it, but it is how it works. Whenever your energies dominate in these lines, because of the clearings and the connections that we brought back in. And this is also why all of our gifts and everything are going off the chain right now. But right now we're in this like double moon shadow. See, that's what I started with. Isn't that nuts? Like, to get to that, that's what I started with. It's nuts. Like, the process was insane. The process, and I knew it was because it's something to do with those harvest skeleton key moon keys. And oh, look, and the sun, it's like they were both at 7 degrees a while ago. So Mercury and the sun were on top of each other. Mercury was about to jump the sun, and the sun was like, oh, well, let me get to 8 real quick. Let me get to 8 real quick. Let me anchor down, because you're about to come in my energy. Is like the sun and Mercury. That's like the whole King Kong and Godzilla movie. That's like King Kong's like, okay, Godzilla, I know that you expanded because you ate the cosmos, you ate the star, which is how you became Godzilla, but now you're blowing up as big as the cosmos. So okay, King Kong's like, let me get to 8, and let me hold on, and you jump over me whenever I anchor down. And Mercury, remember, is your mind. And we're walking through those 33, those timelines, like a carousel, like a coil here and a coil here, and this one's is doing this, and this one over here is trying to balanced it out, but it's like there's like a lasso from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. Just like you're coming through all these different lasers that go like way out and way in. Almost like you're like, all right, your energy buddy steps into the video game. And they're like, there's Wreck-It Ralph. Like almost like that. But it's we're multidimensional beings. You are too. Everybody is. It's how DNA lines are. It's the more history that is in your DNA from it all, then the more dimensional you are. But right now it's like that's merging, and your mind is changing even who you are, because this is who you are, and this is your mind. Your mind is even changing about who you are. Your mind is even changing about... Mind is just changing about a lot of things, because it's like Wreck-It Ralph's like, what the fuck? How'd I end up in, what is it, Candy Crush? And Candy Crush is in freaking Wreck-It Ralph going, why are these people bringing me hammers, man? It's like that. And if you're like me, which a lot of you that you are, because that's why I'm resonating with you at this point where all this is like culminating and shifting over these next 3 months. You know, if you're finding me in 2024, these messages right now are going to be, we're going to be doing it all again next year, and we're going to be seeing it's going to blow our mind more and more and more and more and more, because we're going to realize more next year what we're doing right now, because right now we're the collective who came in and freaking shifted this and took energetic lead in some way or form, even if you don't realize that you are. The good news is about being a leader in this, you really don't need to be known. It's kind of the good news and the bad news. This is also why we didn't know who was leading the thing before, because you never really knew who it was behind the curtain, right? The more power that you have, and the more goddess energy and empress energy that you embody, connected into an alchemy flow that suits you, to where your daily life and everything, because it is part of your life, it doesn't go away. You can't just run from the activations. You can't just run from the dead people coming to talk in your head, because I mean, why are they stuck there? Like, what's on the other side of that? Like, there's energetically, all that's going, expanding, so that you don't freeze when you stare at source. The good news is, no matter who you are, the beings like me and the family of us have come through this so many times. It's like we're coming out of it's like all the energies on the collective body that you're no matter who, if you're not resonating with this, then it doesn't matter. You're in a collective body that's a true collective reinstated cosmic energy projection forms now, at this point right now in 2024, and we know exactly how to hopscotch through this, and we get on the scale, and it's a freaking seesaw, because we've mastered it so many times that we get on the scale, and then we jump, and then we like take off this way, like for us. But for the first time, this is the first time that we're like doing it all in one unison projection at that higher, dominating the energetics of what they're putting out. So just like this, we're this ring. We're the blue and white. All those projections and timelines, it was coiled up in all this, and then to get to there, to get to this, to there, to make a wave, and then and this is, woo, how are we going to get this person and this person, this person, this person to do what we want them to do, so that this will turn this direction, because it's literally how the geogrids and everything are set up. But like, we have this blue and white that's going across the timelines, that's separated even the white from because now there's different layers here and a different layer here, and so it's like all that's getting pulled up, and if I could take that and make it into a 5, 6, 7, 12D image, and then like spinning around and hold it in my hand, right? And if this thing spun, well, this current right here is so anchored into the root that it can hold this light energetic, and it's changing the current to where it's like we're seeing but their timelines, if they can't get through here, okay, then they can't connect into here. So it's we're seeing it. We're seeing this barrier that's happening with even how the star rays are getting in to project. That this is why you're not feeling them. Like for the first time the past 3 or 4, like 3 weeks, and it's getting even to where I've completely forgot about it. I'm know that obsessive energy in my head about those freaking men is gone. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. But it was such a program, and that's what, and they were all doing. They were all just wishing it and trying to get into our energy, get into our energy, get into our head. They want you to focus on them, focus on them, focus on them, because that is the power that this energy has whenever it's connected the way we are right now for the first time as a collective army walking on the ground with cosmic energy connections and no barrier. I'm sending love to the Appalachians. I really am. I really am. I really am. It's what angers me about the whole thing is we've been telling you this is what is gonna happen. And it's just one of those things that there ain't no, I mean, it's obvious because we tried everything. We tried everything. We tried everything. And this is, I don't want to say millions of us because I don't think it's quite there, but this is thousands of us all over the world as we were being upgraded in order to stop it and reconnect everything to stop what was going to happen, and everything, and all of them just doubled down and freaking locked down the energy and turned on 5G and said fuck it, let's just turn on the net. Well, I believe you. I mean, all that, all the flooding and stuff that's happening down there, like all of us energetically, as we're alchemists, though, we can do something. Well, I don't know. What can we do? What can we do where we're at? Well, we can start creating them a different story, because we know that DNA is the strongest manifesting DNA down probably in the United States, the way it was all connected in, even into the body of the collective and the body of the planet. There's also a lithium mine right there. Right there. I only dealt with Asheville, Kentucky, but it's all connected. As a collective angelic community with that, I think each one of us, depending on how you resonate, in order to help the ancestors and help the descendants that are there right now, is let's use our creation abilities to assist them. Right now, they're not even doing media on it. So if you resonate, then it just under your intentions for the day, command that the government help them. Number one, like let's use our collective abilities to just insist and write that now assistance is going to come, period. And do it that way, and use your abilities, and use our connections and our power of persuasion in the ethers and the way we do things as an angelic collective. in your queen energy, people that are nearby, because we're talking roads are down, the whole thing. Right now, it's like just helping get things set up on the outside because people are going to be running, but they never should have been freaking built. Look, this is also associated to the Dragon's Back and Louisiana Purchase, and I could go on and on and on and on about why it happened. And there's 2 more hurricanes coming, but there's 3 different layers of energetics that are getting set up, isn't there? It's like it literally has to clear space. So today, this energy of today with Venus on 9 degrees of Scorpio, which is why we were staring at Scorpio, because at 12 to 16 is when the collective's all this is going to merge again. This is also why the birds were trapped in. Did y'all see that? The birds, there was a blob in the middle of Helene. And this is Helene. This is St. Helene. That's the hotel that I ungridded and got out of the G at St. Chartres on St. Chartres Street in friggin' New Orleans. That energetic is tied into France, South Africa, mainly. It's why the swamps exist there. Helene in the middle of Helene. Oh, yeah. And this is even Marie Helene Rothschild and all the energy that they wrapped up on all of that, and this how this cloning and all this freaking crazy cabal, Illuminati, Rothschild, black magic, freaking waka waka wee freaking happened down here, because it all started in 1973 when the Ascended Masters came in 1972, and they did the big ass fucking spell December. The whole thing went live December 1972, and then it's like the whole world freaking forgot. And I mean, and this is what we're dealing with the cleanup now of what happened in 1972. And then time spun out because a freaking lower energetic took over the angelic army and used them to create demons, basically. And then use them to create whatever type of human that they wanted, whatever energetic to hold, whatever various blah blah blah, and just sit on top of it and run it like a big machine, to where nobody even thought that you could stop it from being that way. Well, yeah, they were sitting on our energy. It just took us 50 years to clear it, and the end of days. That's why everything's blowing up. They don't have any more energy. Everything's having to be reset to where you should be, if nothing changed in 1972. And realize that a lot of y'all that were born in the 80s, or especially, wouldn't even be here in the body that you're in if they wouldn't have fucked with 1972, because you was probably already alive in 19. You came out and had to come back in. Just to give you an idea of how big it is that this sequence is having to change from one dominant projector. It's like a projector, that Orion projector, the 3 circles, red, green, and blue. Red, green, and blue. 3 circles. You got 3 circles. That's it. Your body is made, and you're made from the inside out to react to energies in a vector with three rays. And then you've got to be able to assimilate to 1 trillion rays coming in, no barrier, no screen, coming straight into you, and then you're projecting yourself out. You're not projecting to a screen that's projecting to a screen that's projecting to a lens. That's the difference. And everybody's different with it. This is what's so cool about it, because because this change happens with all of us, but for some of us it'll happen with migraines, because and what I'm really getting down to the bottom to, in my, oh, look at that, in my neuro, because at this point I'm a neurophysicist is what you would call me. I'm a neurophysicist, because what we're understanding too is all these 32 rays and what we understand about the wheel. Because when we broke the wheel, what we broke is an alpha draconic mindset, literally, that everything was running off of, that you had no control of, how they were seeing into our world. They could see through your eyes. Well, that's only because they had the connections that the Yahshua Christ lineages brought in 72, with the way it came back. Even at the Evergreen at John Baptiste Cemetery, where Mary Magdalene and John Baptiste and all that, where they lived, between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, the Evergreen Plantation. And they were from South Africa. That's where that original connection came in. And whenever they got finally settled there, guess what happened? Massive flooding. Exactly. Because that whole high energy crew then landed in the swampland of the United States of America, called Louisiana at the time. Has to settle. But this is like in your mind. 1441 is 18199, where 12 to 16 degrees is Sirius B. It's in the mind pattern. And if you remember how we talked about that, looking at Scorpio. And if I could go like that. See, because that alpha draconic energy, you have it in your body, no matter if, because it's what the body was made and mixed with at this point. It's a part of evolution that we're all coming out of, because the whole world was set to that energetic, and it had been for so long, that the mind patterns, and this is even how we know the right brain ended up in a left brain sac, like literally. Well, that's like 3D printing. That's why the computers can do it, but you can't. But the collective mind, literally, the right brain that makes flow, that makes creation, was so closed off that. And I think just in the physics, because we hadn't all activated down here in a human form to be able to align it correctly. So I mean, this is why this is the end of days, because this is what's happened. Is like, yeah, we made it out, we're coming out, we really are. But going through it, because you've got to elevate to this, your mind pattern. This is like a migraine. Your mind pattern catches a new vibration. See, it's the same setting. Some of you have this one but didn't have these connections. Some of you always had these connections but didn't get it to this far. Like, and this was the entire human race. This would be like your right and left brain and your third eye, like right here, balancing it, right? But I hope y'all are following me. I hope that you're following me with that. I just kind of like got plugged off So I hope that you followed me. The moon last night was, today is almost, and it's September 30th. And remember too, and this is all about Venus and the timeline magic, because this is where all this human harvesting energy, because they just had the whole thing set up on a freaking like crop rotation. And we're going into October, which is going into March. Well, how many days are in February? 28, except on what? A leap year, which was 29th, which was yesterday. So yesterday was leap year energy. Yesterday was the 29th leap year energy. Oh, and don't get me started about leap year energy, because that's how they were eclipsing the eclipses and storing up 4 years of energy and blah blah blah. This is how we changed 4 years of energy. 4 years of timelines using this ecliptic energy. So that was yesterday. So today really is the 30th of February, which there is no 30th of February exactly, but tomorrow is 1001 October 1st, a new setting, right? So today is like this weird energy where if you do it too soon, then it didn't happen. If you do it too soon, then it didn't happen. And for those of us who are like who are pure energy, we always are ahead. We always are ahead. The hardest part is to be patient and wait. We get shown what we need to do. We get and we're so used to like being good little soldiers and jumping up and doing it, but in this energy there's no way to like hold it off to not show you until right before you need to leave. So it's like this is that whole mastery thing, but it really is kind of like a day in a glitch. It's almost like a day. That's what I want to say. I want to call it a day in a glitch. Yeah, I don't even want to call it a day out of time, because that's not even, it's more like and it's like that double moon frequency, because that double moon is attached to the new Io Jupiter sequence as well. And us birthing the still birthing the moon sequences, because the moon sequences are changing with the sun sequences, and you really do kind of travel. The whole thing will bring in another moon if the collective needs that energy to line up. And with that moon coming in and supposing to be out until November 25th, which then gives time for Saturn to go direct and Pluto to go direct. And what I'm knowing about this energy is that it's giving the collective a lot of more of your ancient information, which in a nanosecond becomes incredibly futuristic. So it's extremes of both. You'd consider ancient, even the mummies that they're finding and the different stuff that they're finding, because what they're finding in the land and with the crop circles and all that is getting the collective mind pattern past this barrier, this cubed one. This is like that H gate. This cubed one is that's the hard part. This cubed one. Everything's fine whenever you're going with the collective and rotating and coiling up or down. It's when you get into one of these to get into here that it becomes tricky. But this is also the cube and the Saturn trying to cube Saturn again. That they were doing all that around us with all this cooking and spinal tapping crap. That's why the G core of the cosmos came out. Nope, you ain't putting us down in a planetary system. Sorry about your luck. The cosmos couldn't hold it, you fucking morons. We told you. It is what it is. But also, just know that there are new energies to support and help. That's why we're here. So you use if you feel like you need to do something to help, because there's more coming. There's more coming. It's almost like that's that, and this is tectonic plate stuff. The stuff that's happening right now and that started last week, I've been knowing is tectonic plates shifting, because the frequency of the whole thing has to come up. The crust has to break. It has to move. It hasn't been moving. It's being forced. This is also clouds. This is even like the birds trapped in the middle. If you want to think about, this is like clouds, and this is the ground and the grid structure, and this is the matrix. But then realize that on the other side of the clouds, there's a whole command post. With us coming through here from the other side, us coming through here in pure source code is what creates the movement in the ethers. That's why the clouds are telling a story right now. That's why whenever you can look up in the clouds and see protection and see entities, but it's because somebody is holding it and grounding it and calling it in and doing it from here, like an earth angel. It's how it works. Well, we've already connected 344,000 sequences and turned it on to the entire O bloodline and are flushing. That's how we control. That's how you become eagle. But you gotta go straight through the thing and remember that you're connected to this wave when you get in this or out here. This is what's wrong too with the O hybrid blood was made, and the O blood, y'all join in rings together. You do things together. You don't realize how much you do it together. It's propaganda codes that fuck with y'all. But most of the time with the O blood and even O negative in the ethers, it was like if everybody didn't agree, then it's the gang stalking and all from the good side and the bad side. But just O blood in general is a bunch of rings, and you just want to flow. You when I look at charts and I look at O blood sequences and even O negative sequences compared to like A and B, O blood is more balanced. There'll be a planet here, there'll be a planet here, there'll be a planet here. There might be two here, they might be two here. When you look at A's and B's charts, it's like 6 planets right here going straight in. This is now not everybody, but I'm giving you an example. Not to say that because when all O's are like that, but the majority of the O, it's like it's all pretty balanced. It might be winky wonky, but it's balanced. Well, that's because you use way out here. But when one would jump and find out all the real information about how they've been making a circle the same tent 100 times, you don't even want to accept it. You feel it. You know that we're right, or you're the one that needs to stand up in the group and change direction of the group. But because of how the group reacted to the 5 people before, to just shut the fuck up like that. But the blood is literally made to do that, because all the etheric connections were, and the you weren't doing wrong even to do it when you did it before. Just understand that that's why it's so hard to break from those connections. But now it's like those connections are coming into the different O races. So now all those currents that were going in these separate things are no longer having to hit a group and then make a decision. They're coming in directly to the ones that are tuned in. Now it's like, and this is like y'all O's, man, it's why we even had to do it the way we did, because whenever you turn all the O's on, like when you turn everybody's O blood on, like across it creates like gazillions of these little bubble triangles in a bubble, and then everybody's motoring up all together, and because they were in an organized group, they were making currents. That current got broke, everybody got their free will and got their energy back, but then there wasn't anything that was pulling it up from a macrosity connected from the inside out. There's your Christ consciousness, there's your lineages, there's your holy books, there's your connections, there's your ascended masters. But your ascended masters weren't up in the sky. We got here in 1972. We were held captive basically in black magic, and na 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 na. And there were only a few that by the end days in the 50s that even were alive to remember that we had come here and that they had changed it and done a mass spell. All right? Like literally. Time was up. Time was up. All the energy got used up. This is because this is divine intervention. No weapon formed. It's freaking so beautifully, but it's crazy how it manifests. It's literally, it is. I know this shit sounds crazy. Trust me, I've been screaming it over here this whole time. It makes more and more sense the more you watch the world being controlled by it, though. It makes more and more sense whenever you're involved with making some of the changes and you know how it went down because you was involved with it. Then you start seeing it from emperor status, not from a muggle standpoint, which either are fine. It just is what it is. Let me see if there's anything else that's coming in. See, when I pulled it, that's what I saw earlier. I think. So there's some irritation today that all this is going, the Jupiter's almost out of Bellatrix, in Orion, in the O blood, changing barter sequences, changing the dominant sequences that control the matrix, literally. Because the matrix is formed off of our minds. There's enough of us now that have connected into, it's literally kind of like a higher, because it's still kind of matrixy because of what we're still coming out of, getting everyone's energies, getting everybody stabilized. It's almost like everybody's getting pulled out of like ICU, and a bunch of people are getting off all their oxygen machines and everything in the in between now. They can breathe. There's still a whole bunch that aren't. A whole bunch. So there's some balancing that's having to take place. And that's changing the Pleiadian birthing cycle too, because Uranus was been inside the Pleiades this whole time. And this has been stuck at 639 for days. This has been stuck on 639 for days and days. Like, literally. It went direct on 639 and it has been stuck on 639. This has got to be at least the fourth or fifth day. I noticed it like 4 or 5 days ago. So that part. Also, the moon is like basically opposing Saturn retrograde right now because the moon is now balancing out. So all that chaos and all those energies and all the disruption and all the emotion from it, and like I haven't said this in a long time, but even Noah's Ark and the flood. Well, you know why the flood happened? Because the humans got the frequency to connect their right and left brain, and everybody started activating, and all of your mucus and all of the flood. It's the flood. Your it's like that Christus. It's all your chakras activate and connect into the higher set of chakras, which sends a charge, and then your body has to flush it. Well, that happened when a whole bunch of people's noses start running down here from that type of brain alignment. It floods shit. It floods. It's also why the freak snow in Egypt was because the money grid popped. When it freak snows like that, and especially when it freak snows like a whole bunch, like it did here in Texas, and like it does every 10 years, and that's has to do with basically matrix stored. It would be a money currents of some sort, barter currents connected to the collective. When it breaks, it just turns to crystallized and it just like the bottom falls out. And this is why it's all the magic and the industry and Diddy and and like that higher infrastructure of how all that was going down is all now coming out, because we're dealing with moons and all that magic and everything that they were utilizing and the Crowley stuff and all of it was Venus and moon cycles to be able to tune the entire collective in 2024, as Venus is coming through Scorpio with all affecting the timelines and the sun and Mercury right above the sub level in the mind, in the O Bellatrix, which is why the O race was even made. Because remember, at one point you could say I was one of them, but I wasn't one of them. They made us one of them, basically, is more like it. Because we could do what we could do. Because over here you're talking to like the collective of what you'd consider the princesses and stuff that were never even known because of information and our ability to connect into the collective under processional time counts like this one right here. So this is like this is an epic day. This is like an epic day where everything's just in it. So just do what you're guided. Don't if you're like, should I do it right now? Should I not? Should I do it right now? Should I not? Just if you can hold off, just wait one more day until till tomorrow, till October 1st. And then that October 1st energy and alignment will start hitting us in the United States tonight, because other parts of the world are even going into it tomorrow. So even by tonight, some things might start making a little bit more sense. But it's this, like I was telling y'all, it's this shadowy type stuff. Okay. We're about to also enter the, if what I just said about the organizations and all that, well, we're about to enter the time where they pull the trigger on everything, including a Biden. Biden has energy at 12 to 16 degrees. A lot of you do, but a lot of the politicians and da da da. So that's also where it's like but divine feminine, this is why we have this higher mindset attached to the cosmic grids, not the planetary grids, because we got our own. And it's like I was getting this energy yesterday when I was driving from somewhere and back into like my divine feminine energy of feeling in control, just a little bit more stabilized in my energy to not to and my connecting to know that I'm controlling it, but I'm letting it happen, and everything's connected again. It was that type energy, but then the energy kept elevating to where it was like, this is where we're going to show the little kids how you do it. This is where we show the little kids how we do it. This is where the teaching comes in. This is where the lessons come out, but in the matrix and play out. This is where stuff starts coming in and manifesting that people can't believe it. They can't believe it because it's changing. It proves that you're divine. It proves that what you've been saying is true. It's all these things that were said to be impossible. It's that type of energy. All right, 12:27. I'm logging off. Love you guys. coCHEE32.com. Go check out the Libra and Virgo energies. Next few days, we'll be putting Scorpio and Sagittarius up, and now you get a much better idea of how freaking cool and different they all are. And if you've got any problems and you want to get in touch to get an activity book or a DigiChart, then you can email, and I'll put that email in the description on this video. I'll be back in October. If you need me, you know where I am.